Hey everybody, welcome. I almost did exactly what I said I wasn't going to do at the beginning of the show. I almost did like that morning zoo guy. Hey everybody, welcome to now 6:55 in the a.m. We got some slippery roads out there, so watch where you're going. Hooga, hooga. Yeah, that's right.
And there's typically a mattress in the left lane, so be careful.
And there's always, the other thing you always get is the people that are basically paid to laugh at the main guy.
Right.
Those over-the-top laughs that are just so stupid. All right.
Can I say one thing real quick?
Yeah,
I have to. The guy that lost his mattress, why doesn't he want it?
I don't know.
If I lost a mattress off my truck, I'd go back for it.
Yeah, me too.
But a lot of people just say, I guess I don't need that mattress.
They're like, I can go pick up a mattress from Costco, so who cares?
I think typically if they're not strapping it down properly, it's not like a therapy. I don't even know. What's the goddamn brand name?
Tempur-Pedic?
Tempur-Pedic?
There you go.
There you go.
Plus, a Tempur-Pedic would be very easily smushed a little more than a regular mattress. They're more rigid.
It's probably like a 20-year-old twin-size mattress with stains.
Yeah.
That's the one that they're just kind of willy-nilly, tying it to the truck, and then when it slips out, they're like,
Yeah. Yeah.
What did I lose?
When they're tying it down, are they like, well, if it goes, who cares? Yeah. I don't know. I don't get that.
This was not one of the topics we were going to discuss today, but it's pretty funny. All right. So listen, I actually did have stuff when we moved the first time, my wife and I had a pickup truck, and I just was throwing stuff back there. I didn't care. And as we were flying down the highway, one of her most prized possession dolls she got from her mom before her mom passed away, it's like one of those porcelain things, went flying through the air at about 60 miles an hour and broke into millions of pieces. So that was a good way to start off the marriage and the new home together. Busting mom's doll.
Yeah, I tell my wife to expect me to destroy something irreplaceable like once every 2 years or so.
That's a pretty good, that's not bad. Every 2 years, not a big deal.
Yeah, okay.
But they have so much stuff that's precious.
Knickknacks
and irreplaceable.
Everywhere. Yeah.
I'm like, I can't.
But what if she took a bunch of your pipe tins in your little pipe storage there and threw them out into the middle of some expressway or something?
Or just mailed a whole bunch of them to me and never said anything to you about
it.
These stay here. They stay safe.
Right.
They stay secure. They're not in a place where they're going to be subject to clumsiness and breakage.
Luckily, my wife doesn't have a lot of anything like that. I mean, her big thing is pictures. She's got a bunch of pictures, but she doesn't have those, those mementos.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
She doesn't have those mementos, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah, that works. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. She doesn't have those knickknacks and things that that a lot of other people have. So she's just got pictures. So luckily, I don't break a lot of her crap.
That's good. So, hey, let me get back to the beginning of the show here. I don't know if you knew this, but I'm Scott. We got Derek well, you're not going to see him if he doesn't have the video on.
I was going to wait for you to stop talking so I could say hi.
Yeah, that's
I'm
Derek. That voice right there, that's Derek. And then you got Bob, who is that voice right there. Go.
Right here. This is Bob's voice.
Okay. And Derek is doing something very special if you're not watching on video. He is drinking out of a Marty Moose eggnog cup made famous by the movie Christmas Vacation, part of the Griswold family, which, Bob, we talked to him before the show when we said something about it. He goes, yeah, I've never seen that.
No, I thought it was a cool glass, but I had no clue what the reference was. So
yeah, I don't even know where to go with that because it's almost insulting.
So basically, what you guys will learn by listening to the show or watching the show is when it comes to movies, I've seen a few out of the millions.
But really a few, not just
right.
We're talking maybe 10 famous movies. He may have a reference.
Well, Bob, this is. In the original Vacation, they're trying to go to Wally World, which is basically Disneyland. Marty Moose is their version of Mickey Mouse.
Yes.
There you go.
And it just so happens, spoiler alert, when they get to Wally World, it's closed. They drive from Chicago to California to go to Wally World, and it's closed when they get there.
Sorry about the spoiler, guys.
And by the way, John
32
Candy,
years.
John Candy's in that movie also. Yeah, 32-year-old spoiler I just gave away. So they made a new version of Vacation. Did you watch that, Derek?
Yes, I saw it.
I unfortunately, I'm in this habit now. I don't know if you guys do this, but like, if you go to the theater to see a movie, it's, between 2 or 3 people, you're spending 20, 30, 40 bucks by the time everything's said and done. So I've just started like buying movies sight unseen through iTunes instead of going to the theater. I'm just like, I'll just watch it on my, Apple TV. And I bought that one. It was like $10, and I was like, that was not even worth $10. That was hideous.
Yeah, $10. You're not getting in the theater. I think I did recently see a movie which was Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
We went to family of 4. It's about $12 or $13 each to get in.
Oh my
So
gosh.
you're already talking almost $50, and then you add on overpriced popcorn and a huge soda and whatever else the kids want, and it winds up being a $60, $70 a day.
Yeah.
It was worth it for just to have a family outing, and it was a really good movie as well. So that was good. I couldn't quote the movie at all, but I saw it.
But that's the thing too. When you go to the theater, you never know if you're going to see a total crap show or an actually good movie. So that's the other thing. So I'm willing to throw $10 at a movie I've never seen before on iTunes, and sometimes you go, hey, I'm going to watch this movie multiple times. That was worth it. There you go. That's the Scott endorsing Apple TV iTunes purchases.com. There you go.
And Apple, if you want to sponsor the show, that's okay.
That would be amazing. I would take all the Apple products available. Okay, so here's what we were originally going to talk about. That was good stuff, but I want to give a preview so people can kind of follow along with us if they want to. We are going to have this show ready for you to hear and view during Thanksgiving week. Thanksgiving is just a few days away, and we're going to talk a little bit about Thanksgiving. Also going to talk about, I don't know how interested everybody is in this, but it's a big deal right now, is the show, the Broadway show in New York, Hamilton. The cast decided to talk to the vice president-elect at the end of the show, call him out as he's walking out of the theater, and kind of lecture him a little bit. So interesting. People have been talking about that. And then here's the coup d'etat. The best part of the show will be Derek has a mystery question for us. He's going to throw something out there, and we're going to talk about it. So that should be exciting. So,
and if y'all aren't familiar, we mentioned that we were going to do the mystery question at the end of every show. So
yeah.
It's not like hey, I've got a mystery question for you.
Right.
It's my turn.
It's our attempt to have something that we try and throw into each show. If it works, we'll keep it. If it doesn't, that's okay. We'll move on. We'll see what else we can do. All right, so let's start it off. Thanksgiving, guys. Here's my first question about Thanksgiving. A lot of people. There was actually an ad that I showed my wife, just a quick clip of that Saturday Night Live did that was kind of humorous, just about the idea of having to hang around with family at Thanksgiving, and it was an ad for Target, where they said, we have a giant parking lot where you can come and park and just kind of get away from the family for a few minutes. And it was kind of humorous because she ends up, she's like texting someone and she's like, I can't even with these people right now. And it's like, it's funny because they have, I don't know if it's like this by you guys, but Target parking lots are huge. And there's always like 500 spaces available. It's never filled. I would assume maybe on Thanksgiving if they stayed open, which is Target one of the stores that's going to be open on Thanksgiving? I can't remember.
I think they will be. Most of these big chains are going to stay open.
Walmart and I think Target were the only two that were going to open up like right on Thanksgiving Day. Some of them were going to wait until the day after, earlier in the morning.
Yeah, Walmart's going to be open at 6 p.m.
That's
Target,
ridiculous. I think Target's 5 o'clock. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's like people should be able to spend time with their families, and
yeah, Target's doing a 6 p.m. as well.
And every year, you can guarantee there's going to be some video of people trampling each other for a 27-inch television that's $3 or something crazy,
like a VCR or something.
Yeah, a VCR. Isn't that crazy that if you just think about like 10 years ago, people were trampling each other for DVD players, and now people are like, DVDs? what?
Yeah, they all want to
Now
get
it's
the biggest
Blu-rays
TV.
or 4K Ray, and it's like, okay, I'm done. Anyway, all right. So Thanksgiving, guys, what are you doing? What's your plans? Family, friends?
Go ahead, Derek.
Oh, thanks, guys.
I'll leave it up to you, buddy.
I'm actually off. I do work at night. I'm a nurse, and I do have to work Christmas this year. But I am off for Thanksgiving, and we're looking to spend lunch with my parents, possibly dinner with my in-laws, and I love it. I get a little sad and a little depressed when I hear people talk about, oh, I gotta be with family, and when people basically kind of dog the holidays, all of them, any of them, Thanksgiving, Christmas, when they're like, gotta be with family. That just saddens me because I love my family. I love spending time with them, and I haven't had any negative experiences. We all get along. We all enjoy each other's company, and I only wish that I wish I could go to Houston, where there's where some of my extended family will be gathered together in greater numbers to celebrate the holidays. I don't get to go because I got to work, Black Friday weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna get together. We're gonna eat turkey and stuffing and pecan pie and cranberry sauce shaped like a can.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't say I don't like my family, but for me, it's a huge trek to get to see them. I lived up north and moved away because we hated winter so much. So it's a bit of a hike.
That's Canada, right?
Right. I lived in Canada. No. I wonder where I lived before down south. Anyway.
Well, the people on the podcast can't see that. So
right. Well, it says Detroit Lions, so there's your hint. All right. But it's like a huge trip, and just this last time that we went to Michigan to visit people, my dog is getting really old, and we have to bring our dogs with us. Last time we boarded them, we were both like, man, we're never doing that again, because they both got kennel cough, and it was, and one of our dogs is not fixed, so he had to be completely, he was like in solitary confinement. He couldn't even be with the other dogs because he has balls. So, and my wife's like, we just need to get his balls taken off. And I'm like, I don't think we do. And she's like, yes, we do. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I think it's okay that he has his nuts.
Well, I think it gets to a certain age, when a dog gets to a certain age, it's like, okay, now you don't snip them. Maybe you do it when they're young, but...
Yeah, they say still, even when he goes to the vet, they're like, we can do that. And it's not expensive. It's just me, thinking about the fact that if somebody wanted to cut my balls off, how upset I would be.
Yeah, but you're not a dog.
Well, maybe.
But I love my dog, and he has balls. The other dog does not. The other
dogs are fixed.
I know. Look,
Who cares?
it doesn't make any sense.
Why are you emotionally attached to this?
I'm not.
I'm
not attached to his balls.
balls?
Anyway, our one dog is very old, and this last time we went up there, it was a rough trip for him. So, and he just had a biopsy done, and I'm not going to bring the whole show down. He's not dying yet that I'm aware of, but he's just too old. It wears him out. It's difficult to go somewhere else and have him. He doesn't have the comforts of his home where he can do whatever he wants and all that kind of stuff. So, I don't think we're going to be up there this year for the holidays, which makes everybody upset. But it's like, it's okay. Once the old doggy goes to doggy heaven, it'll be maybe a little easier to drive up there. But till then, we're going to stay home. Man, I just brought it crashing to the ground. That was bad. But the whole point is, I don't dislike my family. I just don't like the trip, to be honest. And I get yelled at for that all the time. So maybe I don't like my family because I just said they yell at me. What a bunch of jerks. What about you, Bob?
Okay.
What about you, Bob?
I'm depressed now. But,
you shouldn't feel depressed. I'm happy. I don't care.
Bring us back up, Bob.
So my wife is a nurse also, and she works the night before Thanksgiving into the morning of Thanksgiving. So pretty much she's going to come home and crash for a few hours and then get up. We host Thanksgiving, So it's
my
always
gosh.
it's always ridiculous. I'll wind up, throwing in a turkey and doing all the fixings and all that stuff. And this year, my mom's going to come by and kind of help out with some of the cooking in the morning, just because my wife's going to be sleeping. And it should be a good day. Typically, my family's quite dysfunctional. Sometimes, and I love my family.
Remember, they're going to hear this, by the way.
That's okay, and that they'll all admit it. I mean, there's no problem with that. Sometimes my family can get out of hand, but I enjoy getting everybody together in the house. And Derek, kind of what you were referring to is, you're sad when you hear people say, "Oh, I don't want to spend time with family" and all that stuff. And that's kind of the same way I get too. And just because I do enjoy spending time with my family, as dysfunctional as they are, it's good to have them all in the same house and having dinner together and just kind of hanging out for a while. And I think part of it, how in most TV shows and all that stuff, they make the father look like the idiot of the family,
Yeah.
the lazy person, all that stuff. And I think part of I don't know if it's media or whoever it is, I think part of that is made up that people don't like to enjoy time with their family. I don't think that's totally accurate. I could see, these big corporations loving that being said, so people will come out and spend money at 6 p.m. on Thanksgiving. But I really think overall people generally like to spend time with their family, and I'm the same way. And of course, there may be a fight. Hopefully the cops aren't called. It's happened in the past. Last year, I had to tell my father to shut up, but because something very small became something very big very quick, and I'm going to have that in my house. But
None of that in my house.
No, oh no, it was a very tense moment. Let's just say that everybody
Nice.
just stopped when I spoke. I probably, I don't know how loud I am here, but
Hear this.
I'm a very loud person. So when I raised my voice in my dining room, it just echoed throughout the whole house and nobody spoke. And we nipped that situation in the butt and moved on and wanted to be in a good night. So
You nipped it right in the butt?
I did. Yes, I did.
It's Bud, by the way.
Okay, sure.
Thanks, bud.
Thanks, bud. Yeah, gotcha.
I was like, did you say nip it in the butt?
Yeah, isn't that what the slogan is? The
No,
phrase
it's nipped it in the bud.
No, that doesn't even make sense.
Look it up.
I'm
That
not-
is what it is. But by the way, knowing Bob and his family, I don't know his extended family, but he has to be loud. His family,
Yes,
they're loud talkers.
My house, I'm not in my house right now, just so you know. I'm in a separate studio. My house is always loud. My wife is Italian. She's from Chicago. She's loud. We've got offspring within our house that is just loud. So, yeah, I have to be loud to be heard. So
It's fun though. I like it. It makes me laugh. But
you're
I know
right. It is nip it in the bud.
I told
What?
you. Listen, here's the thing. Here's the thing.
No.
Yes.
No. Okay.
It's
I've
like
been saying
it's like
nip
the
it-
bud of a flower, I think, isn't it? Something
I've been
like that.
saying nip it in the butt forever, not even knowing what it meant, knowing like what it referred to or whatever, but I didn't know it was bud. That makes no sense whatsoever. I guess what I was saying makes no sense whatsoever.
Well, I mean, if you want to nip the butt, it's okay too, I guess. But it's nip it in the bud. Listen, Bob. I give you so much grief, but I want you to know something. I spoke exactly as you do and said all sorts of craziness when I was a teenager. I met my wife in high school, and she was an English, I'm just going to say it, an English grammar Nazi, okay? And she literally shamed me into learning how to say things correctly. I was a bumbling doofus, and I would say also, I used to say their selves, which is not a word. I used to say his self, which is not a word. I used to say lozengers, which is not a word. I used to say sherbet, which is not a word. Which
Wait,
everybody
why isn't-
says it's
Why
sherbet.
isn't sure?
It's sherbet.
Sherbet.
There's no
Sherbet.
R at the end of it.
Okay, this stays.
These
down
are
for
all
me.
listen. They're all Midwestern words that are just made up.
We could
So-
do a whole show on this.
I know we could totally talk about this forever. But my wife used to go. I would be like, "Yeah, he did it himself," and she was like, what?" And I was like, "He did it himself," and she's like, "That's not a word," and I was like, "Oh." My young
You said it,
impressionable
so it's a word.
my young impressionable 16-year-old self was a little crushed when the woman that I was in love with used to tell me how stupid I was. But she turned me into a fine man now where I know how to say words properly.
Again,
Bob has
bringing
no
the show
comment.
down, Scott.
No, I'm happy that I say words the right way now. You know what kills me is, as some people may know, who if you're friends with me on Facebook, you may have noticed that I put a few political posts up over this election season. And one of the
No way.
things that I have to stop myself from doing is when people respond to me when they're debating me and they say "you're" and they spell "you're" wrong, and I just want to be like, dipshit, do you know how to use the word? Because it sounds like you don't. If you're saying you're doing something, just think you are doing something. And they just go, why? Oh, you're. And I'm like, no, that's not correct. You're incorrect, but I don't want to say it.
To get this back on the original topic here,
This is why people don't want to be with me during Thanksgiving. I correct their grammar.
Exactly, Dad. The question is, what's your favorite either dessert or meal?
That
what is
wasn't
your
the question.
part about No, I'm coming up with the question.
Okay, go
here.
ahead.
I like this.
I do too. Go ahead.
What do you have at your Thanksgiving dinner that's your favorite? Is it the dessert? Is there something specific? I want to know something specific. So, some dessert or some dressing or what is it? What is your favorite thing that you're like, oh yes, here it is. I'm bringing it to me. It's mine.
It's very difficult for me to say. I like the meat and potatoes, whatever that is. So I like the turkey, and I like whatever carby dish to go with it. Like, my wife makes this thing called corn casserole, and hells yes, every time. And when she makes it, everybody eats it, so I always make sure I get a piece of it before everybody else does.
How about you, Derek?
Well, I don't know if it's supposed to be dressing or stuffing. I get corrected all the time, and I never get it straight. But I like the dressing, and I don't like the dressing in a box. I like it when it's made
in the butt of the turkey, the carcass.
And you mean in the bud?
Come on, Scott.
In the bud of the turkey.
No, we don't. We don't ever do actual stuffing.
Really?
In the.
You're not supposed to
turkey,
anymore. They tell you not to do that.
I don't care. I do it, and it's amazing. That's
it's
one of my
probably
favorite
really
parts.
good. But they're always like now everybody always talks about, like, on the news shows and stuff. You shouldn't put it inside the bird because there's a good chance you could get salmonella.
But if you're cooking the bird thoroughly, I don't see the problem.
Look, people survive for generations without dying from stuffing poisoning. So who cares?
Well, anyway,
Yeah, exactly.
my mother does this sort of thing where she makes cornbread and pours broth
oh my
in
gosh.
it. Adds vegetables, and it becomes
That sounds
this
amazing.
mushy goodness stuff. I love it, and I also like, and this is new for me, newish, like in the last 5 years for dessert, pecan pie.
Oh.
Yep.
Wow. Huh.
That stuff is legit. It is really, really good. And if I only have one dessert on Thanksgiving, give me a slice of pecan pie. Give me a little bit of turkey. Give me lots of dressing. Let me throw some gravy on there. I'm good.
Here's the real
It's
question.
pronounced gravy, Derek.
Here's the real question about turkey: light or dark meat?
Dark. I mean, not even a question. It's
Both. I like a mixture of both. Like, give me the you can slice off a nice chunk. I carve the turkey and cook it, but I usually slice off a nice chunk of that white meat with the skin on. That's just a little bit of bark on it from the seasoning stuff, and then I take some of that dark meat as well, and I just kind of go in between and
You just
eat both
mix
of them.
you
I
mix
love
them
them.
all together. I'm a white as you may have known by my choice for president. I like the white meat. I am a white meater all day, every day. I don't know why. I don't think dark meat tastes bad, but I like the white meat. I just do.
So my favorite thing is some Polish dumplings that we have.
What?
So they're just it's just one of these weird things that my wife is adopted, and her dad is adopted father was Polish. So we got, and he married a Lithuanian woman. So we get
this
all
is getting
these
deep.
Oh, it is. And we get all these just really strange ethnic foods, coming into the mix into Thanksgiving. And yeah, there's just these Polish dumplings that have like some breadcrumbs on them and bacon and stuff like that. That's kind of my number one
that sounds
thing.
good. That sounds good
They're
too.
Yeah, they're really, really good. And as far as like desserts, I love me some pumpkin pie. As simple as it is, throw some Cool Whip on there, and I'm good, man. That's like my little, Thanksgiving heaven there.
I'm used to, in my family we did apple pie, but the truth is I'm not a huge sweets person. I'm a huge person, but not a huge sweets person. But but I don't like go, oh, I can't wait to have some pie. Although if somebody has, I've noticed a couple places that we've been recently, we get a little of that French silk, that chocolate pie.
That's
Oh,
good.
hell yeah. Give me some of that any day, anytime. That stuff is real good. I love it.
Yeah, that's
So,
usually what I'll get some kind of French silk pie or something for my birthday, typically like an Oreo French silk pie or
oh
something like
yeah.
that.
Oh
And
yeah.
that's I think that's my favorite pie overall. Just
Yeah.
Oh,
that
man.
style of pie. That's
You're gonna put me back on carbs
Derek's going to the store to buy some pies.
You know the
I'm gonna
crazy thing.
go. I'm gonna go way off the wagon.
The crazy thing is, for a big dude, I'm not a gravy guy. Never been a gravy guy. Never been like, oh yeah, give me some gravy. I have put gravy on the turkey a couple of times in my life, but I've never been like, oh, pass the gravy. And
Gravy
like,
goes on the mashed potatoes, and if you have a little bit good on your turkey, that's okay.
I've done both, but I've never done it with any kind of consistency. I'm just a give me that freaking bird. And I also like, if we have mashed potatoes, I just like butter and salt on them. That's me.
I really need to learn all these secrets from my mother on how she makes the gravy and the turkey because
Yeah.
I'm an independent person. You see this house? I own it.
Yeah.
I own my own car, own my own house, job, but I've only made a turkey one time in my
Wow.
life. So
You should
I feel
learn.
like I need. Well, I with the time I did make the turkey, came out pretty good. But there's how the dressing and how the gravy is made. She does her little things, and she's been doing them for years and years and years. And I'm not that observant, so I'm not like, what happened? How do you do that? And I guess I better hang with her
I'm
a little
making my
bit.
first I'm making my first turkey ever, just all by myself, kind of a deal. And I'm smoking it. We're going over to a friend's house, and we've been designated to bring the turkey. So I'm brining the turkey and smoking it with apple wood. Uh, so it's going to be interesting. I've never done that before, so it's going to be a new adventure.
Well, I will say this: I know the smoker that you have because I've used it.
Yeah, yeah.
In your bottom tray or at the very base, make sure to put some aluminum foil because
Yeah.
turkey or any kind of poultry is very greasy and it'll
Yeah.
have a lot of drippings coming off of it. So just make sure to catch all that stuff.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah,
And
I put the aluminum foil on there every time. But yes, go ahead, Derek.
And Scott, the smoker you have, I've never seen it, but be sure you put the turkey in correctly or something, because that's the
I
only thing
am going to actually, after doing a lot of research, I forget the actual word for it, but basically you're almost like you're cracking the turkey in half and laying it flat. That's the best way to get the most smoke into the turkey. Instead of putting in it as a whole bird, you kind of slice down the middle and smash it out so that it's got both sides.
Do you have a backup plan?
No.
Okay.
Hold on a second. Hold on. I'm just remembering my mom is not making turkey this year.
What?
She told me she's making a hen.
No.
I'm like,
A hen?
You mean chicken? She's like, no, it's hen. But that's chicken.
Cornish
hen?
Because it's only gonna be like me and my wife and my son and my mom and dad. So they're like, we're just gonna make a hen. So I'm like, what's going on?
No, you can't.
She should make at least 4 of them because hens are small. I've smoked Cornish hens. That was a pretty good.
Is that what she's
you know.
doing? Like little tiny hens, like
No,
Cornish hens?
it's not the tiny. I was at the grocery store the other day, as I often do.
Yeah.
I did see the baking hens there. They were like a little bit bigger than like this, about the size of your standard chicken.
Okay.
Okay.
But But I'm like, what?
I don't know how I
kinda,
feel about that.
I don't know. I was like, well, okay, this better be good. You better have some good dressing.
The pilgrims
As long
are
as the
turning over in their graves.
As long as the dressing and the gravy is on
That's
point,
true. That's true.
throw any bird you want out there. Even duck. I would go for a duck.
Have you guys had deep fried turkey before? 'Cause
No, that's what I
been
wanna
a
try
popular
next.
thing over the years. That's it's pretty good. I enjoy it. It's a lot different than your standard, standard turkey or style of cooking. But be very careful because a lot of people get burned doing that, throwing a frozen turkey into hot oil.
I'm enjoying how like each one of these things that we talk about, Bob gives us a little safety tip. It could be like a little segment, Bob's safety tips.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
It's good. That's good.
Hey,
So-
people, you know what? People get injured, man. The holidays
they
is
do.
supposed to be I mean, how many people fall off ladders hanging Christmas lights and crack their noggin? I mean,
true.
I'm sure Derek's seen them in the emergency room. Can't talk about it because HIPAA, but
Twice, yeah.
yeah. I mean, it happens. You gotta be careful. You want to enjoy the time with your family.
What you do is you just hire illegal immigrants to hang the lights for you.
Well, soon there won't be any.
Because they have free health care, so it's okay if they fall off the roof. That is the worst thing I've ever said in my life. And I don't believe it. It was all for comedic value, and it fell horribly wrong.
You've said worse stuff in your life
I have?
today.
Really?
The comments of Scott does not reflect everyone else on the show.
No, I speak what people think and they don't want to say. Anyway, all right. So let's kind of transition a little bit and talk about this Hamilton thing. Let me tell the story real quick. I won't say what they said. I'll give a brief overview, but the Vice President-elect, Michael Pence, went to a Broadway show of the musical Hamilton, which is all the rage. Everybody's all excited about Hamilton. I've never heard anything or seen anything of it until I knew it was out there, but I didn't really know much about it. Well, the musical Hamilton on Broadway has had a couple of things happen that have been controversial. The first one was before all the Mike Pence stuff happened, they were holding auditions for the show and basically said, hey, if you're not a person of color, there's no need to even try out. And that got people a little upset because they were like, well, why? And they said, we want the cast to be diverse. So that was a little bit of a hubbub. And then Mike Pence attended the show with his daughter and a niece and a nephew. And at the end of the show, when the cast came out for their curtain call to get the applause and the bows and all that kind of stuff, one of the guys came forward, and as the Secret Service was beginning to escort Mike Pence from the building, the guy said, "Excuse me, Vice President-elect Pence, before you leave, please indulge me." And he started to basically kind of lecture the future vice president about the fact that a lot of people in this country are not happy that Donald Trump and Mike Pence are the incoming administration, and told them that a lot of people were afraid and a lot of people believed that they were racists and had ill intentions for the country. And so the people have reacted to this on both sides. A lot of people applauded the guy for doing that. A lot of people were upset that he did that because they feel like it was kind of disrespectful to do that to the guy coming in. He hasn't even done anything yet. He's not even in the administration yet. Nothing. They've done nothing. So people were pretty upset about that on both sides. So some people thought it was great. Some people thought it was horrible. But that's a big deal. A lot of people are talking about this. Just thought I'd throw it out there. I don't want to get too political, but it is a big deal. Some people think it's a big deal, and some people think it's a big deal for a good reason. So
It's not a big deal.
Not a big deal?
Okay, Hamilton. I've heard of it. My brother went to New York City earlier this year with his lady friend, his girlfriend, and they went to go see Hamilton. He said it was an amazing show.
Oh, I bet it's great.
basically a hip hop musical about Alexander Hamilton,
Yep.
history of America. Said it was awesome, and he actually met one of the cast members of Modern Family there,
Nice.
which was pretty
Do you
cool.
know who it was?
Yeah, the guy Eric Stone Street, the guy that
Oh, okay.
plays
Yeah.
Cam. Yeah,
He's from Kansas. Go ahead.
yeah. Anyway, so that's my little thing there. Politically speaking, I don't. Should he have said it? Should he not have said it? Probably not appropriate, but who cares? The fact that people are getting upset, people are upset and offended on either side, silly. Let him say what he has to say. Hey, Vice President-elect, we're concerned. And he could have just said, noted. We're not racists. You don't have anything to worry about.
Mhm.
All these accusations are being overblown. And that should have been it.
And
Now I guess there's calls to boycott the show.
Yeah.
Stop. Just stop. Quit being upset on either side.
Well, let me just tell you, Mike Pence was on. They do the little Sunday morning political shows, and he was on those. And he was asked multiple times about it if he was offended, and he said no, he was not offended. And he said, I listened to what he had to say, and he's entitled to his opinion. That's basically how he handled it. So, but there are a lot of people that are upset about it.
Okay, I'm going to take the opposite side of what Derek was saying. And Mike Pence is a consumer at this point. He paid for a ticket or got him for free, whatever the case may be, but he is a customer walking into a facility to see a play. And I don't think anybody from the cast should be reaching out to the audience like that. That's not their role. Their role is to put on a play, to entertain, because that's what people are paying for, and to walk off the stage and be done with it. I don't have a problem with anybody speaking up. It's a freedom of speech, man. Say what you want. Mm-hmm. But you also have to know your place and your time to say things. Yeah. That was not the appropriate place nor time.
But it was after the play was over, Bob. You said it was the curtain call, right?
Yeah, it was during the end of the show where people are. I mean, it's still part of the show. So, but go ahead, Bob. I'm sorry.
So while he was in that building, and once he walked outside and hit the street, it's open season. I don't care who it was.
That's a bad choice of words when you're talking about the president-elect, vice president-elect.
You know what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's. You can say whatever you want once he walks outside that building, but while he's in that building, he is still a customer. He can walk up, buy merchandise to support the show, all of this stuff. So he is a customer. And the customer's always right? That's what they say. So you don't cross that line if you've got a political view. And honestly, if it was Hillary there, if it was Obama there, if it was anybody else, I'd feel the same because you just don't cross that line.
It would never happen. It would never happen if Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama were there. In fact, Hillary Clinton was at the show, was invited backstage, and they were all over her, love her, all that kind of stuff. But again, that's to be expected.
Because it's New York.
Yeah. So let me just say this, Derek, and I'll let you jump back in a second here. I think I agree with both of you in a way, and here's what I'll say. I think that probably. It was a bit disrespectful to the office of the vice president. I think they could have done it differently. I mean, those people have a voice already. He could have been interviewed by somebody and shared his thoughts. He could have asked Mike Pence, could we talk to you after the show? I think in a way it was, the thing I didn't like is that it was almost like they were trying to show him up and make him look foolish in front of people, because let's be real, if they're on the stage, they have microphones, they're the people that everybody are listening to. It would be different if Mike Pence was sitting with them up on stage and he had a mic and was able to give his 2 cents, but he's literally being escorted out by the Secret Service and being called out in front of the crowd. I just think it was disrespectful. I don't care. Listen, here's the thing about free speech that people forget too. You can say whatever you want, but your words also have have meaning, and there are consequences for the things that you say. So today in a show in Chicago of Hamilton, a person stood up during the performance. Now, I don't think this is okay, but a man stood up during the performance and said, "Hey, shut up. Trump won the election. You guys just do the show and shut your mouths." And he was escorted out of the building, kicked out of the play. But those consequences now, the people boycotting and all this stuff, people are sick of the division. And this is just another thing that encourages even more division when people decide to use a public forum like that, that people are going to just be entertained to call out the vice president. So I think that's the thing that people are upset about is like, look, dude, these guys haven't even done anything yet, number one. Number two, don't dog him out in front of everybody unless he's done something to be dogged out.
Yeah, but wait, no, you can't say that, because even if he did something to dog out, that's not the time or the place to do it.
But see, it's just this reaction that's going to create more of these type of scenarios later in the future. And Bobby said you were taking the opposite of me. I really didn't. I said it was kind of inappropriate, and yeah, it might even have been disrespectful to do that. But it happened, and it was handled. And what's really crazy is just the amount of reaction. This side's upset. This side's upset. There's calls for boycott. We're talking about it now.
Yeah, and calls for apology and all kinds of stuff.
Who cares? He did it. He did it, and they addressed it, and they moved on. And Mike Pence, like Scott said, he already addressed it. He's like, it's fine. It's his right. It's fine.
He handled it, I think, I think that Mike Pence handled it in a classy manner compared to the way he was approached. But that's just me personally. Look, I get it. There's a lot of things that Mike Pence did as governor of Indiana that people don't like. I get it.
Classy.
But I don't think it was the right forum to do it. And we're so divided right now. There are people, I just watched an interview of one of the guys who is part of the Electoral College in Michigan, who has received death threats and threats to his family if he doesn't vote for Hillary Clinton. And here's the funny thing, the people that are going to vote in the Electoral College in Michigan are the Republican representatives, so they're not going to vote for Hillary Clinton. They're the Republican representatives, so they're not going to vote for her no matter what threats they have. So
Same thing's happening in Arizona.
Yeah, there's this division in our country right now that's just kind of like it's insanity is what it really is. It needs to just look, at this point it's over and done. He won. He didn't win the popular vote, which I know a lot of people are upset about. But he won. We have the Electoral College for a reason. It is what it is. He won. It's time to say, okay, I don't like the guy, but he's the president. There's nothing you can do about it right now.
Well, for the last 8 years, I have said I may not like the president, but I have to respect the office.
Yeah.
Regardless of who is in there, you have to respect the fact that, okay, this individual is the president of the United States, the leader of our country. Yeah. And you have to at least show respect for the position, even if you don't like that individual.
Yeah.
Yep. I am a conservative, but I don't ever dog President Obama, and I refer to him as President Obama. I refer to all of them by their title, and I try to be respectful, and I try to teach my son to be respectful, because I live in West Texas. This is the most conservative politically area in the nation. All right, and so he's exposed a lot to kids who echo their parents' rhetoric, and there's a lot of Obama hating, and there's a lot of Trump loving around here.
Yes,
and
there is.
I'm just like, be respectful of the office.
But Derek, there is actually, I want to say this because he talked about Texas. Did you see what the two kids in San Antonio did in school? The sophomores.
I heard something about it on the news the other day.
They did a skit depicting Donald Trump being assassinated, and there were some people upset about that.
Well, that's a little extreme.
Yeah.
So last night I was in downtown Chicago. We were down for a Christmas-style parade, Festival of Lights, whatever. And I was right by Trump Tower. And it amazed me to see how many people were taking pictures with the Trump name in the background. I mean, there were so many people.
You did?
It was unbelievable. I did. I took a picture and sent it to you. Yeah, I just think it's so amazing how, how many people were down there taking the pictures. And, luckily there was nobody said anything. Nobody did anything. It was rather peaceful for Chicago.
I think it's funny that he's in New York. He's having to remove his name from certain apartment buildings and stuff because the people that live there are like, dude, this is crazy. People are out in front of our apartment building all day yelling and screaming like you're in our apartment building. And it's like, hey, doofuses, Trump's not there. He's either in Washington or he's in, Florida, or he's up in some other tower you don't know about. So this yelling in front of people's apartment buildings is accomplishing nothing, but okay, whatever.
They did take the honorary Donald Trump Way or whatever it was out of Chicago, which I thought was funny.
Did they?
Yeah,
really?
They removed it.
That's so
yeah,
funny.
They did. Well, see what happens with the Chicago, the board in Chicago. If you make them mad, I mean, they'll just go after you. And that's with everybody. That's not just
it's the Chicago way, dude.
Yeah, they just destroy you, and it was kind of funny to hear that.
Yeah.
Politics. Are we done?
Yes, we are. Derek, that's a good segue into what's your mystery question. Hopefully it's not about politics.
Nah, far from it. Okay, guys, y'all are sports fans, right?
Yes.
Yep.
All right. So I guess, Scott, you're wearing a Detroit Lions shirt. Do you refer to the Lions as like we did really good today?
I sometimes do, but it's not normal. Normally I'll say, now here's a little bit of background. You have to understand the Lions, if people don't know this, are traditionally a horrible football team. So I usually refer to them as the Lions because I haven't identified, even though I am totally tied to the Detroit Lions. But I rarely say we when I refer to them. I usually say the Lions suck or they can't do this. Now, the flip side, and most people, I'm going to lose a large portion of the audience here, but I'm a huge hockey fan. Now, when it comes to the Detroit Red Wings, I do say we a lot. I'll say we can't do this, or we just can't, or we had a great game. So when I talk about the Red Wings, I do. So it's kind of weird because it has more to do with the fact that the Red Wings have had success over the last 15 years as compared to the Detroit Lions, who have had little success over the last 50 years.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you a story, Scott. My sister-in-law, who lives in Nashville, she comes from Pennsylvania. She's a huge Pittsburgh Steeler fan.
Yes.
All right. Wears every time there's a game, wears the outfit, wears the eye black, has all kinds of accessories. Huge fan, goes to a specific bar in the Nashville area to watch the game. She's actually sung the national anthem at some of their...
I was going to say, I think your brother,
awesome.
Didn't he do that at the Pittsburgh Steelers game?
I think they did that at a couple of preseason games.
Yeah.
Here and there. But still, pretty awesome. I have never met a more hardcore NFL fan in my life. I got an inkling of this last year at the Nashville Pipe Show in 2015. Both you guys were there. Mm-hmm. On that Sunday, I was fortunate enough, my brothers and my sister-in-law took me to a Tennessee Titans game, and they were playing the Indianapolis Colts. Colts won the game, of course. But while we were at the game, Alyssa, who's married to Brandon, my brother, she was like on her phone, like, Ben Roethlisberger's hurt. I don't know what's going to happen to us. It's his knee. Oh my God. I was like, whoa, what is going on? And then this year, when I was down for Nashville in September again for the pipe gathering, there was a Pittsburgh Steelers game. It was the early game. Don't know who they were playing, but they got their ass beat, like big time.
Yeah.
And it just pissed her off. She went to some bar in downtown Nashville, me and my brother were just watching NFL games at his apartment, and he got a text like, "Come get me. We stink. We're terrible." And then later that night, it was the Sunday night game was the Dallas Cowboys and the Chicago Bears, and I'm a Cowboys fan, but my sister-in-law was like calling me out. She's like, "You call yourselves Cowboys fan? Where's your jerseys? Where's your hats?" And I'm like, "I don't own any Dallas Cowboy apparel. I just I do my part by watching their broadcasts on the show. But I don't refer to, I'm a Cowboys fan, but when the Cowboys do something, I'm like, yeah, we won. I'm not affiliated with that organization. They don't know me. They don't care about me. I like them, and when they win, I'm happy. But when it's over, it's like back to normal. Like they just won earlier today. I was amused. I enjoyed it, but when it was done, I decided to get on this show, and I forgot about it.
I think you're in the minority, dude. I think most people are diehard. They really are attached to their hometown team. So I think you're a little bit different that way. But that's just me. That's my experience, because I'm always going to be, no matter where I live, no matter what happens, I'll always be a Detroit Red Wings fan first and a Detroit Lions fan second, no matter what. University of Michigan football too. Those are my three.
Well, I am a fan. I've been watching them since I was a teenager, and I've good years, bad years, I've always enjoyed it. But I remember hearing something as a teenager. It was like, you could be, love the Dallas Cowboys, but they're not going to love you back.
That's true. That's
true.
And
that just always kind of stuck with me, so that when they win, I'm able to enjoy the win. But when they lose, I'm mildly disappointed. But it doesn't ruin my day. It doesn't ruin my week. But that does for some people.
Oh, some people it totally ruins their day. I know when Detroit plays, Scott, if the Lions lose, I try to avoid Scott for the rest of the day, because I know he's going to be mad about
So he's going to avoid me every Sunday, pretty much.
No, I mean they won today, so I mean I know I knew going into this show that you both were going to be in a grand mood just because your teams won. Now my Bears, they lost again, and see what I just said. That answers the question.
My Bears. Yeah, there you go.
So I am one of those guys that say, yeah, this is my team, my Chicago White Sox. We're doing good. Yeah. My Hawks, I mean, just killing it. Doing very well. And I always refer to the team as mine. And the reason I say that is because I invest in that team by watching their show, by purchasing their merchandise, by attending the shows. So to me, and not only that, all of our tax dollars within that state, pay for those teams, because there's a percentage of the money that goes back in that you pay in taxes that goes back to the team or the stadium or all of that stuff. So to me, there is a vested interest. And out of all the teams in all of football, the only team that could probably take credit the most is the Green Bay Packers, because they are publicly owned. They are the only team that is publicly owned. I do too. Them. I mean, they're my arch nemesis being in Chicagoland. But it's cool because that team is owned by the fans, literally owned by the fans, which is an awesome thing. So yes, I refer to them as my team. We lost today. We won today. We had a great game. We have a horrible quarterback. Whatever the case may be, I mean, I buy into it that way.
I would say too, one of the things that has made me so endeared to my sports teams in Detroit, specifically the Red Wings. My dad, when I was a kid, very young, my dad worked a lot. He worked in the automotive industry. And back then when I was a kid, man, the big three were booming. My dad was working like 6-7 days a week. He was very busy, 12-hour days, just crazy. So one of the few things I got to do with my dad was go to hockey games. He would get tickets through work, and he would take me to the games. The first game I went to, I was 4 years old, and it was, so that was a thing that I got to do with my dad. So it became it really impressed upon my identity that was something I shared with my father. So the Red Wings for me were really deeply, like when they won the Stanley Cup in 1997, I'm not afraid to say I cried like a baby. I mean, my dad looked over at me like, "What is wrong with you?" And I was like, "It's 'cause of you, it's 'cause of you, Dad." But yeah, I really, and that's one of the things that's made me hold on to the Lions all these years is if you are a huge fan of a team and you go through years and years and years and you never give up, even when they're the most horrible team in the world, there's always a chance that they could win. And when they win, it's so sweet. I know it means absolutely nothing. They don't care about me. But, Bob, you can talk about, like, with the White Sox. How did that feel when they won the World Series?
Oh, yeah. To me, it was amazing. We were jumping up and down. In the living room, and it was excitement. But here's what I'm kind of laughing at internally. Scott refers to the White Sox who won in '05, but he didn't mention the 3 wins of the Chicago Blackhawks that have happened over the last few years.
But I think you're probably more of a White Sox fan than you're a Blackhawks fan. That's why I said that. I think that you probably. Yeah,
no, I mean,
listen.
the Hawks are.
When I first met you, I talked about loving hockey, and you weren't like, "Yeah, I love the Blackhawks." You were just kind of like, "Yeah, they're pretty good. I think they've got a chance." And eventually, while we've known each other and the time that we've known each other, they've won a lot. So, but I didn't. I thought you were a huge baseball fan.
Well, I think I used to be a huge baseball fan. Me personally, I used to be way bigger into sports. I'd invest a lot more time into sports and that stuff. And as much as I enjoy it today, I'm not to the point where I'm, just my whole day's ruined if my team loses or this and that. I mean, priorities, let's just say that. I've had to kind of change my tone on some things. But yeah, I mean, I'm a huge Hawks fan. I'm a huge White Sox fan. I love my Bears, even though they're just the most dysfunctional team.
How old were you when the Bears won the Super Bowl?
85, so I was 6.
Yeah, you probably see that didn't mean anything to you. I mean, it did, but it didn't. Like once you're old enough to understand it, that's when championships are a big deal. And Derek, like when you were, so the Cowboys won in the '90s. You weren't probably that old either. How old were you?
Oh, I was probably like 14, 15 years old.
So that probably meant a little bit to you, but like if you had been diehard Cowboys fan like all through your younger years and then like they won, like if this year they go to the Super Bowl, you'll be pretty excited if they win.
Yeah,
won't you?
I'm a big fan of the Cowboys. I love them. I enjoy watching them. I don't refer to them as, we're doing really good this year because I'm not part of the organization. Look, my high school that I went to, that my son goes to, they're still in the playoffs. They won like second round of the playoffs. They're going on. I still don't refer to the Forsan Buffaloes as us or we. It's just something I don't do because
that one would make more sense. But that would make more sense because it was your school.
True, but I just don't do it. I don't know why. And it's just maybe it's because that one little saying, you can love that team, they're not going to love you back. Maybe
we need to find the person who said that to you. Who said it?
I don't know.
Yeah, man, that person completely changed your life.
Yeah, exactly. Those of you watching or listening, go ahead and throw in the comments below. Is it your team? And let us know what your team is. Let us know hey, this is my team. Do you refer to it as your team or are you just a fan of that particular team?
All right. So let me just say this. We're nearing the 1 hour mark, so I just want to kind of wrap the show up. We are just in the infancy of this show. Hey, we're talking. I don't know if did I say that at the beginning of the show? I hope I said that.
I think so.
And you can take that any way you like. You can take it as, hey, we're talking. And you can join the conversation, or you can think, hey, we're talking here. Shut your mouth. No, don't think it that way. But if you do, that's okay too, because it's funny. We are going to continue to evolve on this show and do some different things and see where it goes. But this is just a conversation. It's 3 guys that know each other a little bit, and we're sitting here and having a conversation. We want you to be a part of it. We'll have some better ways for you to get involved in the future. We're just, like I said, this will be our second show here, episode 2, and we're just in the infancy of this show. But we're hoping in the future here that we can do some new things and get you guys involved more. But at this point, we're just, like I said, we're just starting out, and we're glad you're here with us. Tell your friends about it. Get involved in the conversation. Again, like I said, we'll find some new ways for you guys to do that. But I'd speak for Derek and Bob here in saying we really appreciate any support that we get. This is just for fun. It's not like we're doing this and thinking we're going to be famous. We're just like right when I said we're famous, somebody's phone buzzed, and it's like we're off the hook, man. So again, we're going to try to do this weekly. It depends on schedules and things like that, but we really appreciate you guys. We're happy that you're a part of the show, and I don't know what else to say except for we're glad that we get to do this. It's fun for us, and hopefully it'll be fun for you. Any last thoughts, guys?
Go Cowboys.
Go
Have
Cowboys.
Have a good Thanksgiving.
Guys.
Yeah, by the way, Thanksgiving, Lions football. I think the Cowboys always play on Thanksgiving now, too. So there you go. Cowboys and the Lions. This Thanksgiving. Don't miss it. It's must-watch TV. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. We appreciate you. We'll talk to you soon.